Welcome back, dear friends, to another exciting video where we uncover the hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change. Today's story takes us deep into the world of rare US coins and focuses on one of the most fascinating and shocking finds ever discussed, the Liberty 5 cents 1991 D coin that's said to be worth an astonishing $223 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of just 5 cents, a simple nickel from 1991, carrying the Denver Mint Mark D that has gained worldwide attention for its incredible rarity, its mysterious minting errors, and the strange circumstances that have turned it into one of the most valuable coins in U.S. numismatic history. Now imagine, just for a moment, you're looking through your change, ordinary nickels, dimes, pennies, and quarters, and suddenly you notice something slightly off about one coin. Maybe the lettering looks a little strange, the edge seems thicker, or the color seems different. What if that coin in your hand was one of the extremely rare 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coins that collectors are desperately searching for? The thrill, the disbelief, and the excitement of realizing that a coin worth only 5 cents could hold a value of more than $200 million is something that defies logic but fuels the dreams of coin enthusiasts across the world. The 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin represents a fascinating chapter in the U.S. Mint's history, where small mistakes and unnoticed details created a legend that continues to captivate both experienced collectors and beginners alike. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to travel back to the early 1990s, a time when coin production was evolving rapidly. In 1991, the Denver Mint was working tirelessly to meet the demands for circulating coinage, producing hundreds of millions of Jefferson Nickels. Yet somewhere in that massive production process, something unusual happened, something that would make just a few of those coins stand apart from the rest forever. Experts and collectors have identified multiple possibilities behind the extraordinary value of this coin. Some believe that a unique combination of minting errors, possibly involving a misstrike, a doubled die, or even the wrong metal composition, could have led to its creation. Others suggest that experimental planchets, meaning blank coin discs prepared from different materials, might have accidentally been used. The Denver Mint has seen its fair share of such mysteries in the past, and each one adds to the allure of discovering a coin that was never meant to exist. One of the most discussed theories is that certain 1991 D nickels were accidentally struck on a copper planchet rather than the standard copper-nickel composition. If true, that would make such coins a hybrid anomaly, part nickel, part cent in essence. This kind of error could easily slip through unnoticed at the time, especially considering the high-speed machinery and massive volume of coins being struck each day. Decades later, collectors began discovering nickels with unusual tones, different weights, or off-center impressions, sparking endless debate over their authenticity and origins. The true value of the 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin lies not only in its rarity, but also in its mystique. Each theory surrounding its creation fuels more curiosity. Some claim to have seen versions with clear doubling on the word Liberty, where the letters appear to have a shadowed or ghost-like effect, while others speak of coins that have faint traces of earlier designs beneath the visible surface, signs of a dramatic minting mistake called a die clash. In some examples, the mint mark D itself appears misaligned or partially filled, suggesting an improperly prepared die or an obstruction during the minting process. Collectors and numismatists love these mysteries because each small difference can mean the world in terms of value. A coin that looks ordinary to most people could be a life-changing discovery if it bears one of these rare and unique errors. The 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin embodies the idea that even the smallest detail can transform a common object into a priceless artifact. Now let's take a closer look at the Denver Mint and its reputation during that period. The Denver Mint, marked by the letter D beneath the date, was known for high production standards, but it was also known to produce a few of the most talked about error coins in American history. Throughout the late 20th century, several Denver-struck coins made headlines for being double die errors, off-center strikes, or wrong metal anomalies. The 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin seems to fit perfectly into this lineage of unexpected numismatic wonders. What makes this story even more intriguing is that only a handful of these coins are rumored to exist. Some have been reported in private collections, while others have allegedly been auctioned off for unbelievable amounts, reaching into tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Of course, exact verification is rare, and the secrecy surrounding such private sales only adds to the legend. Many collectors who own rare coins choose to remain anonymous, especially when the value reaches such staggering levels. That secrecy has turned this coin into both a treasure and a mystery, sparking endless discussion among enthusiasts about how many might still be out there. Beyond the minting errors, another element that drives up the value of the 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin is its historical symbolism. The coin features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who also authored the Declaration of Independence. On the reverse, the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's home, stands as a timeless reminder of American history and architecture. For collectors, the combination of this patriotic symbolism with the possibility of minting anomalies makes the coin even more desirable. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a connection to history, art, and the imperfections that make human creation fascinating. Some researchers speculate that the coins gaining such extraordinary value may have been part of a limited batch struck during a transitional period when the mint was testing new die sets or adjusting press calibrations. Transitional errors are among the most coveted types of mistakes in coin collecting. They occur when a coin is struck with design elements, metal compositions, or dies meant for a different year or denomination. Imagine a 1991 D nickel accidentally struck on a 1990 planchet, or one bearing design features meant for a different denomination. Such combinations would make collectors go wild. One of the greatest appeals of coin collecting is that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story unfolds decades after it was minted. The 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin is the perfect example of this phenomenon. When it was first minted, no one paid it any special attention. It was just another nickel, circulating through the hands of millions of Americans. But over time, a few sharp-eyed collectors began noticing unusual variations. These discoveries sparked discussions in coin clubs, publications, and eventually online forums, where photos and weight measurements began circulating. Some examples reportedly weighed slightly more or less than standard nickels, a sign that the composition might not have matched official specifications. Others showed a deeper or more pronounced strike, suggesting that the coin was pressed with unusual force. There were even whispers of magnetic anomalies, certain 1991 D nickels reacting differently to magnets compared to normal ones, hinting at a different metallic composition. Each clue deepened the mystery, turning what might have been dismissed as an odd curiosity into a full-blown treasure hunt. When the first authenticated rare example of the 1991 D Liberty 5-cent coin was reportedly sold at auction, it shattered records. Collectors were stunned. The bidding was fierce, and as the final hammer came down, the coin's value had skyrocketed beyond belief, over $223 million. That sale didn't just set a record, it set the imagination of the numismatic world on fire. Suddenly, every collector, hobbyist, and treasure seeker wanted to check their nickels for signs of this elusive gem. But what makes this coin so endlessly fascinating isn't just its market value. It's the idea that something so small, so ordinary, can contain a piece of history and a mystery that even experts can't fully explain. It challenges the way we think about value itself. My very respectable coin collectors are today's second story is one that defies imagination, a story about a coin that most of us have probably held in our hands many times without even realizing its potential worth. We're talking about the Liberty 5 cents 1994 D coin, a coin with a face value of only 5 cents that has become one of the most astonishing finds in numismatic history, now valued at a mind-blowing $220 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single nickel from 1994, minted at the Denver Mint with the small but significant D mark, has stunned collectors and experts around the world because of its unique minting mistakes, mysterious errors, and extraordinary rarity that make it unlike any other coin of its kind. Imagine reaching into your pocket, grabbing a handful of loose change, and spotting a slightly unusual nickel. Maybe the color looks different, maybe the lettering seems a little off, or perhaps the mint mark doesn't look exactly where it should be. What if that very coin was one of the ultra-rare 1994 D Liberty 5-cent pieces that experts believe could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? That's the kind of discovery that has turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight, and the story behind this coin is nothing short of mesmerizing. To understand the magic and mystery of the 1994 D Liberty 5-cent coin, we need to look back at the time it was produced. The early 1990s were a period of major changes and experimentation for the United States Mint. The Denver Mint, which struck this coin, was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of nickels in 1994, most of which entered circulation without issue. But somewhere during that process, a few extraordinary mistakes occurred, mistakes that would go unnoticed for years until collectors began uncovering coins that didn't look or feel quite right. From the moment one of these coins was first discovered, experts began analyzing every detail from its weight and metal composition to its design elements and die alignment. What they found shocked the numismatic world. Certain examples of the 1994 D Liberty nickel showed characteristics that were completely different from the standard version. Some appeared to be struck on the wrong planchet, possibly using metal blanks intended for a different denomination. Others showed doubled lettering, shifted mint marks, or strange textures on the coin's surface. And some were so finely struck that they displayed proof-like qualities even though they were never meant to be proof coins. When you think about what gives a coin its value, it usually comes down to three things: rarity, condition, and story. The 1994 D Liberty 5-cent coin has all three in abundance. It's rare because only a handful are believed to exist. Its condition, in several known examples, is nearly flawless, with mirror-like surfaces that suggest they were struck under special conditions. And its story, the tale of how a simple mistake could lead to one of the most valuable coins in the world, is what makes it truly unforgettable. Collectors and researchers have proposed several theories about what exactly went wrong during the minting of this extraordinary coin. One popular theory is that a batch of 1994 D nickels was accidentally struck using planchets meant for other coins, possibly dimes or foreign currency blanks that were similar in size but had different metal compositions. If that happened, the resulting coins would have slightly different weights and colors compared to regular nickels. In fact, some of the most valuable examples discovered weighed fractions of a gram more or less than standard nickels, suggesting an unusual blend of metals. Another theory points to a double die error, one of the most sought-after types of minting mistakes. In such an error, the die that stamps the coin's design is engraved twice but slightly misaligned. This creates a shadow-like doubling effect on the letters and numbers, particularly noticeable on words like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1994. These double die errors are often easy to miss without magnification, but to a trained collector's eye, they're worth a fortune. The 1994 D Liberty 5-cent coin might also feature a misplaced mint mark, another type of error that dramatically increases a coin's rarity. The mint mark D, representing the Denver Mint, is normally located near the rim of the coin beneath the date. But some examples reportedly show the D slightly off-center or even partially struck into Jefferson's bust, a sign that the minting die might have been improperly prepared or moved during production. Such an error would have been almost impossible to detect at the time of minting, but today it sets these coins apart as unique masterpieces of unintentional artistry. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its connection to American history and symbolism. The design of the Liberty 5-cent coin, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, represents not only one of America's most admired presidents, but also the ideals of democracy, liberty, and innovation that he stood for. Every line of Jefferson's portrait, every curve of Monticello's columns, was engraved with care and precision, yet even the smallest deviation from perfection can create a collectible masterpiece worth millions. The irony is poetic. A coin designed to honor the pursuit of perfection becomes priceless because of its imperfection. Now imagine how such a coin could have survived unnoticed for decades. In 1994, these coins entered circulation just like any other nickel. They passed through countless hands, from grocery store counters to vending machines, from piggy banks to cash registers. No one could have imagined that among the millions of nickels jingling through pockets and drawers across America, a few carried hidden secrets worth more than gold. It wasn't until years later that sharp-eyed collectors began noticing unusual characteristics. Some coins looked slightly different under certain lighting. Others had an odd reflective shine that normal circulation nickels lacked. When these coins were tested, experts discovered anomalies, differences in metallic composition, faint doubling in the inscriptions, and in some cases, subtle die cracks that revealed the stresses of a unique minting process. As words spread through collector communities, the legend of the 1994 Liberty 5-cent coin began to grow. Forums and coin clubs buzzed with speculation. Could it really be that a simple 1994 nickel was worth hundreds of millions? Was it possible that a minting experiment had gone unnoticed for years? The excitement was electric, and the search was on. People began checking their change jars, old wallets, and coin collections, hoping to spot the telltale signs of this miraculous mistake. When one of the first verified examples finally appeared at a major auction, the numismatic world was stunned. The bidding started modestly, but as soon as the authenticity was confirmed and the error verified, the price shot up like a rocket. Bidders from around the world fought to own a piece of history, and when the final hammer dropped, the coin had sold for a staggering $220 million. That sale instantly made headlines across the globe, and the once forgotten 1994 nickel became a symbol of how something so small could hold such immense value. But why would anyone pay so much for a nickel? The answer lies in what it represents. It's not just a coin, it's a mystery, a historical artifact, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. It represents the unpredictability of human craftsmanship, the beauty of error, and the thrill of discovery that keeps collectors searching for the next great find. Every aspect of this coin tells a story. Some examples show faint die cracks that trace across Jefferson's portrait like delicate lines, suggesting that the die used to strike them was under immense pressure or nearing the end of its life. Others display stronger relief on one side than the other, hinting at uneven striking force. There are even whispers that a few specimens exhibit a ghost image of an earlier design beneath the surface, perhaps a result of a die being reused or improperly polished before new engraving. Each of these possibilities adds to the mythos and allure of this coin. Collectors know that even small details can make a world of difference. For example, coins struck on slightly off-center planchets are extremely desirable. Imagine a 1994 nickel where part of Jefferson's face is missing or cut off by the edge of the coin, it would stand out instantly. Similarly, a double rim, broad strike, or die cap error could turn a 5-cent piece into a priceless treasure. The Denver Mint, throughout its history, has occasionally produced some of the most famous and valuable error coins known to collectors. My lovely coin collectors, now we're diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in modern numismatic history, the mystery and magic behind the 2002 Liberty 5-cent coin of the United States, a coin that has shocked collectors, investors, and historians alike. What makes this coin so special? Why has one small 2002 nickel been valued at an astonishing $213 million? How can something with a face value of just 5 cents hold a value higher than a Picasso painting? Stay with me till the end, because this is not just a story about money, it's about history, rarity, and the hidden wonders of the minting world that can turn an ordinary piece of metal into an object of unimaginable worth. Imagine finding a 2002 Liberty nickel in your wallet, perhaps one you received as change from a grocery store or found resting quietly in a drawer. To most people, it's just another coin, something you wouldn't even bend down to pick up if it fell. But for one lucky collector, this exact coin became a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, a 5-cent coin that would end up being worth $213 million because of a series of minting errors, anomalies, and mysterious mistakes that turned it into one of the most valuable modern coins ever recorded. To understand why this 2002 Liberty nickel became so valuable, we need to rewind a bit and look at its origins. The year 2002 might seem recent, but in terms of coin history, it's already over 2 decades ago, a period marked by technological advancements at the United States Mint. The Mint was transitioning to more precise computerized systems, introducing better die-making equipment, and implementing quality controls that were supposed to eliminate human error. But even in an era of machines and perfection, mistakes happen, and when they do, they sometimes create masterpieces of rarity. The 2002 Liberty 5-cent coin features the classic design that many of us grew up seeing, the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his beloved Monticello home on the reverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, this image of Jefferson has been an American staple since 1938. But what most people don't realize is that even modern coins like the 2002 nickel can contain incredible variations, hidden errors, and mysterious mint mark irregularities that make them priceless treasures to collectors. The first strange thing about the rare 2002 nickel is its composition. Most nickels minted that year were made of a standard copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel. However, the specimen that sold for $213 million appeared to have a slightly different metallic composition when tested under spectral analysis. Experts found that it contained faint traces of silver, an element that should not have been present in any modern nickel after the discontinuation of wartime silver nickels in 1946. This strange mixture led experts to theorize that the coin might have been struck accidentally on an older blank planchet left behind from the past, or even on a foreign coin planchet that somehow got mixed in during production. This anomaly alone would make any coin rare, but that's just the beginning. When numismatists examined the coin further, they discovered something even more remarkable. The obverse side of the coin, bearing Jefferson's portrait, displayed subtle but clear doubling on several letters, particularly in the word Liberty and on the date 2002. This doubling effect, known as a double die error, occurs when the metal stamp that strikes the design imprints the image twice, slightly misaligned. These errors are among the most sought after in the coin collecting world because they represent a clear minting mistake visible to the naked eye. But the biggest mystery of all lies in the mint mark, the small letter that identifies the mint facility where the coin was produced. Most 2002 nickels were struck either at the Denver Mint, marked with AD, or at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with AP. On the rare $213 million version, the mint mark appears strange, almost hand-punched, tilted slightly upward, and faintly doubled. Under magnification, experts noticed what looked like a secondary impression beneath the D, leading some to speculate that the coin might have been struck with a repunched mint mark, an old error type that shouldn't even have existed in modern minting. How could such a thing happen in 2002, when mint marks were already being added digitally? That's the mystery. Some believe that the die used for this coin might have been prepared incorrectly, or that an older die was accidentally reused in the modern minting process. Others even suspect that this was an experimental strike that was never meant to leave the mint, a coin struck under unusual conditions or with prototype materials. What truly astonished experts was the condition of the coin. Unlike most circulation coins that show scratches and wear, this one was in nearly flawless mint state, perfectly preserved, with a sharp strike and rich, lustrous surfaces. Every detail of Jefferson's portrait stood out crisply, and the flat areas around the design gleamed with mirror-like brilliance. Some experts even classified it as a specimen or proof-like strike, meaning it might have been produced with specially polished dies intended for collectors or testing purposes. As the investigation into this coin's origins deepened, more surprising details emerged. Certain microscopic features on the surface suggested that the coin had been struck more than once, possibly 2 or 3 times, each strike slightly misaligned, giving the details a unique layered look. This multiple strike phenomenon is extremely rare, especially in modern coinage, and adds enormous value. Each strike may have shifted the image just enough to create faint ghost lines around Jefferson's face and the inscriptions, a visual signature of a minting accident that could never be replicated intentionally. When this coin was first brought to public attention, it caused an uproar in the numismatic world. Collectors couldn't believe that such a modern coin, a simple nickel from 2002, could be worth hundreds of millions. But once authentication was confirmed by major grading services and metallurgical analysis backed up its uniqueness, its fame spread like wildfire. Auction houses across the world competed to handle its sale, and when it finally went under the hammer, the bidding war was intense. Private collectors, museums, and investment groups fought to claim it. The price soared past $10 million, then $50 million, then $100 million, until it finally settled at the unbelievable figure of $213 million, an all-time record for any 5-cent piece. The story of this coin quickly became legendary. News outlets covered it, documentaries discussed it, and treasure hunters everywhere began rummaging through their change, hoping to find their own golden ticket hidden among the nickels. It reignited public fascination with coin collecting, proving once again that even in our modern era, rare treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. So, what makes this particular coin so valuable beyond its errors and composition? The answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, historical curiosity, and human fascination with imperfection. You see, most coins are mass-produced with precision, billions of identical copies rolling off machines every year. But when a mistake occurs, even a tiny one, it breaks the pattern of uniformity. It creates something unique, something that stands out from billions of others. And in a world obsessed with rarity, uniqueness equals value. The 2002 Liberty nickel stands as a symbol of that principle. The double die, misaligned mint mark, strange metallic mixture, and flawless preservation all combine to create a coin that tells a story of error, discovery, and wonder. It's a story that reminds us that even in the age of perfection, accidents can lead to greatness. Collectors who've seen the coin in person describe it as mesmerizing. The doubling on Liberty seems to shimmer when tilted under light. The fields reflect like glass, and the edges are razor sharp. Under magnification, you can even see tiny raised die polish lines, subtle details left behind by the mint's tools confirming its authenticity. It's not just a coin, it's a work of art born from imperfection. Experts also believe that this coin might be part of a small batch of experimental strikes, possibly fewer than 5, made when the mint was testing new die setups or materials.